Hi, it's Phil, and today I'm going to show you how you can start entering partnerships again after you've been burned by a partnership that didn't turn out as expected, or worse still, it failed. And we'll be doing this from two perspectives. In this episode, we'll cover the perspective of a small business owner or entrepreneur who has been burned by entering into a partnership with a larger company. In the episode that comes immediately after this one, we'll cover how you can rebuild confidence in partnerships as a senior executive if you partner with a smaller company and that didn't go well. The good news is that one framework can help you no matter what situation you're in. So let's start there. The framework is called P.A.G.E, like you're on the same page or you're not on the right page. It's an acronym for the 4 steps you can take to rebuild confidence to lean back into partnerships. P.A.G.E is designed to help you look back on the partnership that burned you with some objectivity. And at the end of this process, you'll find that there are actions and decisions that both you and your partner made that led to the demise of the partnership. The good news is that in less than 5 minutes, you'll be able to identify the pitfalls to avoid for next time. So here's P.A.G.E, and for each letter, there is one question to answer. P stands for Partnership Agreement. And the question to answer is, did the partnership agreement that was signed clearly detail the expectations of both parties? A stands for Advance and Accelerate. The question here is, was the first win or milestone achieved in the first 90 days of the partnership? G stands for Governance. How often were the partnership teams meeting with one another to discuss progress, celebrate wins, or work through roadblocks? And E stands for Execute Again. If you had your time over and had the chance to improve the factors that made the partnership stall or fail, would you partner with that company again? That's P.A.G.E, a tool to help you and your team reflect and gain some perspective from the partnership that left a bad taste in your mouth. So let's imagine that you're an entrepreneur or a small business owner. Grab a piece of paper or a note on your phone and let's start the clock. First of all, write down the name of the partnership that didn't go to plan. For this example, let's imagine you formed a sales and distribution partnership with a large company, and in the beginning, the opportunity was so exciting because they could help you put your product in the hands of thousands of people in the first 6 months. It was going to be a game changer for you and your team. Now, take a minute to answer the 4 P.A.G.E questions. P stands for Partnership Agreement. Did the partnership agreement that was signed clearly detail the expectations of both parties? Now let's imagine the partnership agreement was signed, but when you look at the sections relating to the roles and responsibilities, the milestones, and how costs would be shared, you can't see specific details. At the time of signing it, it might have been agreed that those details will be worked out later. That's the first lesson learned. Let's move on to the next step. A stands for Advance and Acceleration. Was the first win or milestone achieved in the first 90 days of the partnership? If the answer is yes, that's great, because it shows that you were able to agree milestones up front and, more importantly, develop the relationships needed to deliver on that first win. However, there could be a range of reasons if the answer was no, from internal politics and alignment issues or prioritization challenges on the partner side, or your partner wanting to move quicker than you expected and your team wasn't quite ready. In this case, let's assume that your partner was moving at their normal pace, which was much slower than you expected. The next step is G, or Governance. How often were the partnership teams meeting with one another to discuss progress, celebrate wins, and work through roadblocks? Let's imagine that it was suggested that the teams meet monthly, but for a range of reasons, the meetings slipped. And over the first 6 months, you ended up having only 4 meetings, which really isn't regular enough at the start of a new partnership. That's another lesson learned. And finally, to E, would you execute again? In other words, if you had your time over and had a chance to improve all the factors that made the partnership stall or fail, would you partner with that company again? If the answer is yes, that's great. And if the answer is no, try expressing the reason for that. Okay, so let's recap. P, did the partnership agreement that was signed clearly detail the expectations of both parties? No, it didn't. A, was the first win or milestone achieved in the first 90 days of the partnership? No, it wasn't. And G, Governance. How often were the partnership teams meeting with one another to discuss progress, celebrate wins, or work through roadblocks? The answer was more than monthly, which was just too infrequent. And E, if you had your time over and you had the chance to improve the factors that made the partnership fail or stall, would you partner with that company again? Let's say yes, we would. Stop the clock. Okay, in this example, you and your partner weren't on the same page. See what I did there? but there are a number of improvements that you can make next time as you enter into a partnership. And here are the 4 steps you could take. Number 1, sign an agreement that details the roles, responsibilities, milestones, and how costs and revenue will be shared. Number 2, agree a first fast win for that partnership. This should be included in the partnership agreement with language that provides some flexibility for unforeseen circumstances. Number 3, meet fortnightly in the beginning of a partnership. This can be adjusted as time moves on, but get the partnership off to a great start by meeting regularly. And finally, express what you would do differently next time. Now that you've seen this done in just a few minutes, ask your team members to do the same exercise. More perspectives will make for a richer reflection. Now, at this stage of the video, you could be thinking, okay, got it. I understand P.A.G.E, what do I do next? Well, to be sure to get the second episode that follows on immediately after this one to give you that second perspective as the big company senior executive, please subscribe to Partnership Plus. And if you want to learn more about how to start and reset strategic partnerships, then make sure you sign up to the Wednesday Partnership newsletter. It's my free weekly newsletter in which I share 3 ideas and 1 question for you to consider to create those business partnerships that you never thought possible. Check out the link in the comments below, and thanks again for being here. I'll see you in the next video.